Beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, Spine and Shine Goddess. I am Sandra Roberts, the Sand Goddess, and here at Spine and Shine, we are encouraging Black women to live, speak, and stand in their organic truth. Welcome to another episode of Bike Pedal Talks. I don't know how many of you all are watching Brother Sip on Facebook. He is definitely on a quick, fast-paced rise in the comedy world. I've been watching or listening to his channel, watching his Facebook Lives, and what I want to talk about is how brothers give advice to women about how to behave as ladies, how to raise children. And many of us will get on the defense, keep and holler about how not taking care of your own kids, you're not a woman. And I've had videos where I have talked about brothers constantly downplaying women. Shout out to brothers like Brother Sip. Whenever you have brothers who are speaking, you can feel the difference when it's out of love versus out of hate. You should be able to tell in your spirit when a brother is correcting or speaking out of love, not because they're just trying to put us down or harm us or hurt us. You know the difference between brothers who are loving on you versus hating on you. So let's give props to the men who love on us, not hate us, and be able to recognize the difference. We always talk about words or spells. What spell is he casting on you? How do you feel when you hear him speak? Even if it's to correct you, say something, to give you advice, to call you out on something, does that feel like love or does it feel like hate? We feel we can tell the difference when some woman is hating on us. Use that same discernment when it comes to a lot of these men, because so many of them are bitches. So they got that same energy. And yet we excuse it and try to change it and heal it. Girl, no, that's the same toxic energy. This is the video where he was telling sisters about how the girls are dressing, going to school, and how it's inappropriate. Booty shorts, blonde wigs down to their ass. He was mentioning in his video, he was going in. So often, sisters want to hear brothers speak truth. Even when sisters are doing, saying something or giving advice about relationships or parenting, it's always the questions, well, do you have any kids, or are you in a relationship? And we start asking all those questions, right? And then we want to hear from a man about other men to teach us how to catch a man. So when a man does decide to give us the raw truth, out of love, not hate, know the difference. Let's give that man some damn props. Y'all actually are condoning babies dressing like grown-ass women and not teaching them there's certain ways you don't even play with a man or even their relatives. Or some people don't even allow their kids to play with their biological fathers in that way. Because like Sip said, this pussy ain't got no age. Titties don't have an age when it comes to a man. They did a study about how the brain works on a man when he sees a woman dressed a certain way. And I know it sounds old-fashioned because we want to do what we want to do. First thing women say, why don't we teach our boys to respect women? I'm in total agreement with that. One of my favorite comedians, may he rest in peace, Patrice O'Neil, when he said you run around the office with honey on in front of bears. You know you fish, they like fish and honey, they be tempted. Yes, they should be responsible. That's on them. I never joined the nation. I had friends who were part of the nation. Oh man, I didn't know that was this close. City River Village. So where did I leave off? Yeah, so the sisters in the nation, I remember I'm in my 20s and even though I've always been a conservative dresser, I never liked the idea in the nation that, I feel rain, that the men got to wear what they want to wear, their three-piece suits and bow ties, and the sisters were always covered and not allowed to wear what they wanted to wear. And I recall asking a sister about it, and she said, the men don't force us to, and this isn't about covering up because we are somehow less than or more controlled. This is about sisters respecting the men of other sisters. Women respecting other women. Whereas too many of us, it's a badge of honor to tempt a man or to have him look at us and, you know, get his attention, even though he's married or with a woman, even if he's with the woman while looking at us. I started to look at that differently. Oh, so it's not like they're really forcing women, you know, it's not a uniform of oppression. It's something that women are doing because, you know, they want to respect and honor other women, along with, of course, their own temple and keeping it sacred for their husbands, so out of honor for their husbands as well. I don't know if that's the reason for everyone who's a part of the nation, but that's how an elder explained it to me. I want to give props to those sisters who can hear even when it's difficult. When a man is saying something, especially those of us who weren't raised with fathers and who aren't used to even hearing the vibration of a father's voice. Like, I think that's something, you know, something you have to really grow up and have it not joke you. I think sometimes it's just our automatic defense to be like, what? Yeah, because, you know, we're not used to hearing this male voice give us some correction. Like, how dare, excuse me, especially if they're a man or they're not related to us or we don't even know them, and it just hits your spirit a certain way. You get on defense and you, versus, let me try to take this in and see what this brother is really talking about. When brothers are speaking truth to us and they're loving on us and not hating on us, and especially for those of us who have not grown up with fathers correcting us or being able to tell us something until maybe we were just in trouble and our mothers called them because they didn't know what else to do, that can be triggering too. You know, that's what my mom did. She called whenever she felt like, oh, I really want to either embarrass you, or this is something that I feel like I can't handle and your dad needs to, oh, well, I need help. I need somebody else to handle this part. So you only heard that male voice when it was something so critical or so embarrassing for you. And now when you hear and say something or correct you in a certain way, it just is kind of, whoo, what? Because now you're grown. You can say what you want. Well, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I want to shout out Brother Sip. That's really what this video is about. He's crazy as hell now. I love that he's a comedian. Comedians speak truth using comedy because so many grown people can't hear the truth unless we're laughing. As soon as someone go to saying something, now we're offended or it's just true for us and you haven't dealt with it, particularly girls being dressed like grown women and, as he said, looking like thoughts and going to school. Some things are just inappropriate, you all. You gotta look at what's just inappropriate. Somewhere we have to decide where the line is. And if a man is telling you that other men look at your girls this way, now it brings the question, are you a madam? Are you a mama or a madam? Because too many of y'all acting like madams. Like, you have gotten to a place where even if it means pimping your girls out to get more attention on your social media pages, maybe you don't know. So if a man is taking the time to say, look, it's not appropriate. And trust me, as a former teacher of 16 years, you best believe we've seen our share. Not that all male teachers are freaky and that they sleeping with their students, not all the security guards are sleeping with the girls. But come on now, the shit is real. But then I think, is it ignorance or is it that you really don't care like that? And when he said, whether you pimping your children out for money, pimping them out for cars or drugs, y'all love to have Sip talk about nasty shit. This erotica shit. Everybody want to talk about dick and pussy. We okay with talking about sucking and licking and fucking and ooh, and I do this, I do that, and I do this what I do. And then as soon as the conversation turns to kids, don't nobody want to have that conversation. Now it's personal. Now a person's disgusting. Y'all better start looking and watching and paying attention. If you are paying attention and you don't give a shit, not just for the pedophile, but for the parent who's pimping their child out, there needs to be some repercussions for you all that deal with neglect, that deal with child abuse, that deal with leading your child, specifically your daughters, in the path of trafficking, because that's what y'all are doing. Here's a brother trying to tell you, and then y'all sit up. I don't even know if it's true, but someone said the page was reported. Like, y'all, you ain't reported nothing about all this other shit. We can talk about sex all day, but y'all don't want to talk about children. And then you have all these rules about who can talk about children. Then as soon as they missing, y'all want to get online, get us all up and emotional about some shit that went down when you know damn well your child and your girl has been with an older man, missing school. Now all of a sudden you about to get in trouble, or somebody finds out, or whatever the case, it's gonna look bad on you. Now you want to involve the media, involve other people, and say they missing, and don't tell the whole truth. That's not every child is missing, but too many of y'all doing that shit. You know damn well your child, your little girl, older man, and you might even be reaping the benefits from that shit. And then as soon as something go a little shaky, or it seems like it's gonna get out of control, you want to involve the media, and that like you don't know she just missing. She not just missing, she been with a grown ass nigga that you've been reaping the benefits from, because you her madam and not her mama. So either you gonna be madam or mama. Let us know which one, so that we don't have to get emotionally wrapped up in this shit. So if you know better, you do better. And when you have a brother that's loving on you and not hating on you and telling you the truth, we need to learn to shut the fuck up and listen. We really do. And I know that's difficult. Trust me. I just told you. It can be very triggering to hear the vibration of a male's voice on your spirit when they correcting you. It just stings a bit. We ain't used to it. Those of us who didn't grow up with a father to correct us, it stings. And when you hear someone, like I said, not related, and especially if you're dating them and you're like, you ain't my daddy, like, huh? That's a gut reaction, and that's a defense mechanism. But props to the brother when you speak your truth out of love and not hating on us, and especially when you coming out of the love of protecting our girls, because some men don't even get, they'll you, your daughter, and everybody else and not give a shit. So here you got a grown ass man telling you some shit about this is what men think, and they're not corrupted in that way. We need to honor them, give them that, that leeway to speak their truth without getting all emotional. Because to be honest, I was pissed. We were like 2 minutes into the damn live, and then he had to get off on some other shit. You know how it is when somebody say some shit in the comments? That's the only reason why I can only go so far with it, because people say something, come at you a little wrong way. It just hits some of us, and we got to go in. You can't ignore it. It's just like, what? You got to address it. Some people are like, oh, don't worry about what they say. Just keep going. But it's just for whatever reason, when people say shit and you don't check it, and then it just starts, the spiral starts. Then somebody else joins in. There's been one to say the shit, and then they piggyback off what that person said. And then now we got a whole shit that you got to go back and correct. And then people will misrepresent what you say and turn the whole thing around. So a lot of times you do have to check their ass. Because some things, when things go unchecked, it's as if you are, as they say, if you don't, what's the word? If you, I don't know. If you don't address it, it's almost if you agree to it. So you want to make sure you check it. But everything, you can't, it's impossible to check all these people that got opinions on here. So you do in some ways have to remain focused. But I just want to commend Brother Sip. More men need to stand up, and more people, brothers don't, because like I said, so many of them are the children. So many of them are the children. And so many mamas are holding on to men, knowing that these men don't even want them. They want their girls, and they don't even give a shit for them. They don't care like that for real. So if y'all don't care like that for real, consider that neglect and abuse when we see inappropriate shit going on in the home, because you see a boyfriend and you see some shit go down that you know is inappropriate and it's too close for comfort, and the mom is too stupid or too weak or too desperate or too thirsty to do a fuck about it because she just so in love with this nigga. It is our responsibility to do something. Even as a teacher, you're responsible to make calls, and people think it's unfair if you see certain signs and says, that's our business, our household business. And then soon as something go down, now it's the public's business. When a child comes up missing or dead or hurt or abused, now it's the public's business. Now you need our help on something. But as long as you've been accepting and then hiding it and keeping it under wraps, knowing good and damn well you should have been getting some help, it ain't our business. So the message in today's video is, 1, know when a brother is speaking out of love rather than hate. Be able to distinguish what that is and know the difference. Let's work at refraining from acting and responding out of our triggers, our childhood triggers, if we recognize them. When it comes to hearing a male's voice out of correction because we're not accustomed to it, giving him some space to speak his piece, especially if it's something that involves keeping our children and specifically our girls safe. And if you are a mother who is in an abusive situation, or you've noticed the signs and the red flags that you know damn well that man with you ain't really feeling you like that, but he's a little too close for comfort with your children, specifically your girls, get help. Get some help. Get some help. And for those of you who really are madams instead of mothers, and you are pimping your children out and trafficking them, we gonna come for your ass. We coming for y'all. We coming for you. This has been Spine and Shine. Hit that like button, dislike button, subscribe, unsubscribe, do whatever you must. I think I'm gonna take this route back. I think I'm gonna go and see where this leads to, the front end of the village, of City Village. See where this takes me. Thanks for joining me, and as always, be peace. But if you have to be war, be that too. Peace out, y'all. This is gonna start part 2, and it'll be in a separate video. After recording, I end up finding this place called Serpent Sugar Mill. And the brother that served as the tour guide was so knowledgeable and very well balanced as far as giving the history of Black people and Mayans and that correlation, that connection. And that's not something you get very often. I have yet to be on a tour and have anybody speak of the Olmecs. And it's so interesting being in Belize, especially when people don't very seldomly even use the word Black. But coming from the States, you'll hear a lot of us say we connect to our Mayan ancestry and it's going to be spiritual. And we do all these things when we go on these tours. And yet the tour guide often does not even know the history. Like many of us don't know our history. We have to do something supplemental in order to even know how we fit into the larger picture of world history. So I wanted to give him his own space because I was there for over an hour. Of course, I will edit the video, but it was just his knowledge and just how calm and peaceful, even the sacred, I mean, not to sound cliche, because I don't even really talk about my spiritual life, and my practices. I really do find that to be something kind of private, and that the fruit of your labor will best reflect what your practices are. There is a website. I will attach it to this video. Those of you who look beyond, not that you can't come to Belize, like I tell people all the time, I'm not the person at this point to do all the touristy stuff with, because I just don't want to do that. It would be like in St. Louis and they want to go to the Arch, or they want to go to, no, you go to the Arch. I'm not gonna go to the Arch. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't do those after a while, those same activities, and you want people to enjoy it. And oftentimes, as quiet as kept, people don't want you there anyway, because you have gone and done those things and they want to have their own experience, and they don't want you to be, the center of attention since you live here and so I get it. I've had enough experience to know now that people want to do their thing. So I respect that. But if you are one who also travels and say that you want to do all of it, meaning beyond what's the best picture for your Instagram shot, or what's the best thing that is going to make it appear as if you're really having this authentic experience, and you really want to have an authentic experience, really step out and just, there's so much beauty and history in just the everyday grounds of Belize. And I think so often we miss it because we're chasing, or at least doing what everybody else is doing. Oh, you got to go to Secret Beach. Oh, you got to go to the Keys. Oh, you can do those things. I'm not saying you shouldn't do them. I'm just saying, why get a passport stamped? Brag about you getting your passport passport stamped. And you didn't go anywhere to a little Miami. Waters, I get it. There's some other things that you can do. I'll get off my soapbox on that. I'm going to put this in a separate video. See, I wasn't prepared, and sometimes I'm even uncomfortable when it's the moment that I don't want to just record, but I did get his permission to record. So the recording, the sound isn't the best, and like I said, it was raining at the beginning, so I'm going to do my best, but you just have to really turn your volume up. I am going to put this in a separate, like I said, video. But until then, you can do your homework and read up on the Serpent sugar mill, and then find this brother. I will attach his name. If you do visit, I suggest you actually, have this brother talk to you about the history and this place. I will read just an introduction. The Serpent sugar mill is the country's first historical reserve, hidden in the jungle 1 mile in on the access road to the village of City River, in an important landmark in Belize's colonial history. It is the remnants of the steam-powered Serpent sugar mill, which was established in 1865 and marked the start of Belize's industrial era. The mill was bought by William Bowman, and it, along with the regalia bought and owned by an American, fueled Belize's economy for about 30 years. Estimates are that at its peak, the Serpent sugar mill was producing and shipping 1,700 pounds of sugar a month. In the late 19th century, Serpent was a technological marvel, with its main crusher, boiler, beam engine, furnace, and hot air exchanger all powered by steam. That was a breakthrough when compared to the manual process used previously by the Mestizos and Mayans. Just given the date, 1865, you already know that these grounds, the energy is just going to hit you. I suggest you check it out. I'll shut up talking at this point. Hopefully you can hear the video. I will try my best, but just know that that's why I had to separate the two, so that you can totally focus on the Serpent sugar mill. And then like I said, when you come to Belize, you're into history, and our history in particular. If you're gonna pay somebody that knows your history. Peace.
This came in the 15th century, in the early 15th century. So when they came here to Mexico, he met the Aztecs. Right? And the Aztecs, the Olmecs and the Zapotecs, and all those people
We're already here.
Right? And the Mayans were here in the central lowlands. But they have their differentiates, right? Because in the upper Mexico, you can find colored dark people, like black people, but they're not originated from Africa. They were already here.
Speak. Wait a minute. We're gonna have to get you to say that one more time.
Southern trees, barren